first day of winter training. Ang ganda no, pati yung office nila yung pintuan color blue. Napasok na pasok siya sa theme.
First day that I drove up to the hangar in El Centro and saw my name on a parking sign, saw my name on the door, saw my name on the side of a jet already, and it was like, man, this is real.
F-18, no? Blue Angel.
I have the blessing, the privilege, the honor to be boss of the Blue Angels right now, and I've been so for a couple years. But this is my last year. I had a chance to be part of 7 deployments, serving a lot of different conflicts around the world throughout the years, and that naval aviation was a home and was something that I feel like I was meant to do.
It was something that I wanted to do since I was a kid. Something that I never thought was actually going to happen.
Every year, about a third of the entire squadron rotates back to the fleet. The challenge for every boss is to get the newbies, their replacements, up to speed for the coming season and integrated into the Blue Angel way of life.
All these thoughts were going through my mind, like, oh man, well, it's just, I don't know what I'm doing. Do I even belong here? But this is it. This is who I am for the next 2 years, and this is my job for the next 2 years. I am now a Blue Angel.
2 years lang pala, no? Ganda ng mga angle, boy. Wow, grabe. Ganyan din pala sila. P130 na Blue Angel din. Dream. Galing, no? Condensation. Wow. Ganda opening pa lang. Pamatay na yung mga angles, ng mga camera angles, boy. Mga parallax shots, ang ganda. Ready room.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Evan.
Yes, sir, boss. We'll debrief our practice over El Centro. Fight up, ready to go.
All right, I'll take a safety 4, rolling up the low break cross at 450, and the fleur which is a hair improved, worse the day of the diamond roll. Pay Doc $10 for a zipper and a collar. I'll fix it all. I'm glad to be here. Jeez.
Yes, sir, boss. I'll have it. For safety, I'll have an underlying deep sag on the fan rollout.
Naval aviation is something I fully dedicate myself, and I can look back in 20 years and say I gave every fiber of my being to getting better at it. But you come to the Blue Angels, and it really happens in that first season where you're trying to figure this thing out. That can be scary.
Say if it fix my debrief format, I'll fix it all. I'm glad to be here, boss.
All right, what's yours?
Yes, sir, boss. I'll take safety for being 296 knots out of the pub. Pay Doc $5 for pregame jitters. Fix all. I'm glad to be here, boss.
Day tops, boss.
Good jet.
Good jet.
Good jet. Good jet. Good jet.
Good jet.
All right, roll it.
There's a crucible you have to go through together. It has to be 6 pilots totally synced up, flying as one.
Ayos, galing yan. Papanood ko yun sa YouTube, boy.
And it can be frustrating at times to train brand new guys from the fleet. One of the first things we go out and do is just do basic turns. We turn left, we turn right. And just do that over and over again. Because if you don't have the right foundation, it's just not going to work.
Galing na foundations talaga pinaka-importante sa lahat, boy. Galing. Ganda.
As a boss, you're the flight leader. You're the conductor. You're the lead goose in the formation, right?
These jets are max performing. At low altitudes, at high air speeds, in close proximity to other aircraft.
I have to be steady at the helm,
That
as
is
they
the
say.
process. These are the three questions you ask us. There's a calculation we like to use called KGAR. Why should we do this math?
Chomps flies in the forward position. He's back there watching and making sure that we're good.
The number 4 pilot for the Blue Angels. It's the best seat in the house. You can see everything. You can see what boss is doing. You can see what all the wingmen are doing. And you're kind of the airborne safety observer because you have that best seat in the house.
Yes. As the flight surgeon on the team, you're also the lead ground safety officer.
Okay, rolling.
I study the demo inside and out for every position. I know where they should be at all times, their altitude, their air speeds.
Galing, no?
With 2 brand new pilots on the team this year, I am constantly watching them.
You kind of start a little flat and you're trying to hold it in there, and Jamaica actually goes deep. Is that kind of what you're seeing?
Cheese and I are 100% the newbies. Steep learning curve for sure. Just feel deflated and like you're the worst pilot ever. How did I get here?
It just rippled through the formation. So like, Jamami was first, I was second, then Cheese was third, and it just like the whole formation shifted and then had to shift back into set.
So this year we've had a new 2 pilot, a new 3 pilot. I'm filling a new role as the slot pilot, a new 6 pilot in the demo. And then our number 5 pilot, he was out half the year last year, not flying in the demo, so we're getting him learning how to fly in formation again. We're bringing 5 new people into this formation and making 1 demo.
Good work. See you in a little bit.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's one team, 6 jets. We all do something a little bit different. We'll start the show with 4 jets, the diamond takeoff maneuver. And then you'll have the 2 solo individual takeoff maneuvers. Generally, our maneuvers alternate between diamond and solos. And by the end of the show, we'll get the Delta together, all 6 jets. The Delta formation is the signature formation of the Blue Angels.
Early on in winter training, both Chomps and I are heads on a swivel, making sure our new guys are learning that we've got enough space to get out of the way. Cheese is a guy, he's an aggressive guy. If you're riding a horse or something, you got to pull back on the reins. He's a little more pull back on the reins type of guy. We had to use a term called knock it off a couple times, meaning we're stopping right now. Cheese was bringing in a whole bag of knots. Coming in way too hot. I'm looking over my shoulder going, this ain't gonna work.
3 spots incredibly challenging. A big departure from what you do in terms of fleet flying. You're also on kind of the more difficult side of the formation. We're all very used to looking left when we fly, which is what Cheese gets to do in the 2 spot. On the left side in that 3 spot, you're looking right the whole time. All your controls are right in front of you or to the left. And it's just sort of an unnatural position to be in.
Totoo naman, di ka nakatingin sa pupuntahan mo.
The very first time the Diamond was practicing the vertical brake, Jamami went the wrong way.
He was fired.
You think to yourself, okay, as a safety officer, is he safe? Number 1. two, do I speak up and get in his cockpit?
Ang galing, naka-sunglass siya, tapos gumagamit siya ng binoculars.
Does to recover. You have to make that decision. And I decided, remain quiet. This is his first time. He looks safe. He may be going the wrong direction. It's not funny, but it doesn't look like he's going to hit anybody else.
Kind of scared us. It was like, how is he going to respond to this, right? Did he rattle himself to the point where he's not able to compartmentalize, put that one in the past?
Two flat on the in, little mismatch, break the seal. Apex 10 left, 2 wide, and 5 tighten the up. Vertical up was 3 left. It's an incredible amount of stress going in on the newbies.
Newbies.
You're constantly being told what you did wrong.
So, Cheese, we actually overbanked, it looked like. Did you feel good about that one today? Cheese, see how tight you look there? And Cheese, you just drifted forward again?
Yep.
All of us are way fast, and we're all idle boards trying to control everything in close here.
Everyone comes into this team, a relatively accomplished pilot, thinking, I feel comfortable flying an F-18. I feel pretty good about my abilities as a pilot, but this place is it's the great equalizer. Time away from family is the most difficult part of being on this team. We're in El Centro for 3 months in a cocoon, which we need to be. You need that kind of safe place to get it to a point where we can take it on the road. But it's just such a grind. It's monotonous, it's Groundhog Day. You're waking up in the desert every day, in the dark, going to work in the dark, flying 2 or 3 times every day, going home in the dark, and then you're studying for your flight the next day.
You know, I'm not the most academically sound person, and it was a struggle. So flying 2 to 3 times a day, that's what you need. I absolutely needed it.
This is how I typically do it. Bring it inboard a little bit, and I'll extend a little bit here, and then that'll make the arc feel more normal as you come in here.
Mr. Boss.
Questions?
None.
All right, ready to go?
Ready to go, boss.
We're all responsible for our lives in no uncertain terms. Everybody's lives are in each other's hands, that they're not going to do something that we don't expect.
Galing, no?
It's an unforgiving business.
Ready, mate? Oh, Doc for the team. Great job today.
Thanks, boss. It was amazing. We'll see you back at the ranch.
You walk down the halls in El Centro and you see all the faces that have made up the past of this organization. Legendary figures who you hear about, you hear whispers about throughout the fleet. Boss Wooldred, he's one of the first people I met after I made the team. He's a legend.
One of the unique things about him is he got called back to be the boss of the Blue Angels 3 total times. He's the only guy that's done it 3 times. He has spent so much time, he's intimately familiar with what goes on.
When I came to the Blue Angels, I was amazed at how close the formations were and the maneuvers. How can you do that? But as Vince Lombardi said, we're going to go out there today and we're going to chase perfection. We'll never get perfection, but along the way, we're going to realize excellence. The markers toward getting to excellence is when you're able to, as a formation, feel like you can move it in closer.
Galing, no?
We define our season by what we call our sets, which is how close we fly together.
Galing ng mga parallax shots, ang gaganda.
Our furthest out set, which we call the fleet parade, as close as you would ever fly in the Navy. And then as we start to progress, we'll start to bring those sets in a little bit tighter to blue gold.
When we say blue gold set, it's where the line of the blue paint and the gold paint actually meet. That's where Jamami is going to be putting his head. It's underneath that. And that's about 18 inches apart.
What?
If you raise your hands above your head, it'd be from the top of your fingertips to your top of your head is 18 inches away from each other. 22-ton jets, 400 miles an hour.
The next step would be our closest set, which is Yankee, meaning that he's going to put his aircraft underneath the Y on my left wing.
So Jamami, he's actually going to slide up underneath like that. That creates that parallax that we're all in that perfect diamond formation and almost have our wingtips overlapping.
Galing boy, grabe, ano yan? Astig.
As a new number 2, I set the formation. I need to be perfect in every way because everybody looks at me to set the distance. If I'm off by a letter, Jamami then looks at that and he sets it off at me. And then Chomp sets that distance off of both of us. So if there's any mismatch down the line, it's probably caused by me.
Galing, no?
People just don't realize how physically demanding the flight is. I mean, the demo is 45 minutes of, as Blue Angel 8 calls it, pure violence.
We had, first of all, a 45-pound spring pulling the stick away from us. You couldn't get a good feel for it unless it was pulling away from you at about 45 pounds.
It is a full body workout when these aviators fly from their feet to their hands to their head.
Galing, no?
They use their entire body to combat G-forces.
When you're pulling G's in the aircraft, all your blood is rushing down to your legs, to your
Oo,
lower
ano?
extremities.
Grabe yan, G-loads. Yan yung hindi nakikita ng mga normal na tao. Akala nila madali lang yan. Hindi nila alam yung forces involved. Parang Formula 1 lang.
Lose your vision and start graying out, tunnel vision. In order to combat that, we're gonna push that blood back up with our muscles.
Squeezing the legs, the butt, the abs, and if it's a real heavy G pull, then making sure I lock down a 3/4 lung capacity breath.
Galing, no?
As a pilot, you understand the risk. You do a job where at practice and training, you can end it all on accident. So it's a mix of emotions.
Hey boy. Ang ganda ng mga ano nila.
What we do is very dangerous.
Ang galing.
First couple times you take off, you gotta push the I believe button. But one thing we learned in flight school very early on is it's a team sport. We're all the same, cut from the same cloth.
The risk is never any lower when we go out practice as it is when we're doing the actual show. So we take a fine-tooth comb to everything.
It looked like we were good, and
We were good until a half mile.
That's gonna be your focus for tomorrow. Is that arc? So let's take a hammer down to that one tomorrow and really try to fine tune that.
During the debrief, we dissect everything. There's definitely times at the end of days where you're frustrated because you can't get a maneuver right. And not only do you know that you did it incorrectly in the air, but now you get to watch it frame by frame on a TV screen, like zoomed in with an HD camera so you can really see how bad you were, you know? But that's part of it. That's how we get better.
Galing, no?
Every single person does that, including boss.
That's a tendency for me, probably a tendency somebody else, is you're trying to get down as much.
You should be your own worst critic.
To roll out on a 50-foot low.
That's a commitment we have. It's easy to say, tough to do. Be a better version of yourself, be a better teammate, help the team get better every day.
Go, let's go. Yay! 1, 2, 3, Diamond! Nerds, all of you.
Failing together. The failing together mindset really gets people close.
Everything is trust. And so far, over El Centro, that's where we really build that trust.
Natural center point, little low, one right, little high, 6 loose roll.
What you're seeing now in this final week is this teamwork, this focus point, this foundation to try to reach for that perfection every single day. But The closer you get to that pinnacle, the further away you realize you actually are.
Yan talaga yun. Ganyan yung nararamdaman ko ngayon. Char, joke. Galing, boy.
All right, it's Friday, March 11th, 2022, over Naval Air Facility El Centro, California, where the winds are 330 at 910 miles, viz, sky clear. Forecast weather winds 340 at 6, unlimited viz, sky clear. When we're cleared for takeoff, we'll put 4 on the runway. Weather wind check, check your parking brake off, maneuver, diamond half squirrel cage. Left turnout, followed by the solos section.
During the briefs, we will follow around our ground track with our pins as boss is talking through the sequence.
Whiskers will be in from behind the crowd to sneak to vertical rolls, and the 5 ship will be in from the right for the line abreast loop.
Once we get to a certain maneuver, we will chair fly.
Behind the crowd for the delta roll, ball, say 5.
Chase.
Johns.
Chewie. After you do it so much, you know exactly where you're going, what you're doing, how it's going to feel, and you can actually like visualize yourself doing it, getting a practice in on that maneuver before you even go out and do it.
Airspeed call, come left.
You got 6, boss.
Boss. Coming for left. We're left turn for the delta roll. A little more pull. Horizon 7.5 easing power idle. Ready roll hat. We're left turn for the fleur lee.
Chase.
Johns.
Chewie.
Whiskers.
Ang galing, oh. Pinapractice nilang i-pull yung joystick sa sa isipan nila.
And just keep in mind, you're going to have jitters. You're going to go out there, and even though it's at El Centro and there's going to be a few thousand people there that'll be saying something that's going to be looking to distract you, think about that tonight, and think about when you get in there, just like we talked about, everything from the walk down, start talking the cadence, thinking about it, hop in the jet. Do everything and don't get distracted by looking around. Stay focused inside the canopy, and then once we're on the runway, it's the same as it ever was. So with that, I'm glad to be here. Ready? We're going to try to do what we can to make the demo as tight, as low, as entertaining as possible. But that's not my line, you know, this tiger that I'm chasing. The most important thing is 6 jets up, 6 jets down.
First day of the show season, and I can't tell you what it's going to feel like. I have no idea what to expect. You know, it's another one of those things like, man, am I ready to do this?
Na boy. First flight. Angas boy, oh. May pa slow mo pa.
Ladies and gentlemen, your United States Navy takes pleasure in performing for you this, our first flight demonstration of the season. Now, to the left, Captain Kesselring calls, smoke on, off brakes now, burners ready now, and the Blue Angel Diamond is rolling. Burners ready now. The Diamond is approaching for a maneuver that is likely familiar to those of you who have seen the Blue Angels perform in the past. From the right at 400 miles per hour, the Diamond roll.
400 miles per hour.
All 4 aircraft flying as one in this graceful 360-degree rolling maneuver.
Whoa.
The 2 solo pilots will next demonstrate the inverted flight capability of the F-18. Approaching inverted from the left and right, Lieutenant Commander Rickoff and Lieutenant Commander Brad will roll their aircraft 360 degrees. Ready, hit it. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposing inverted to inverted roll.
Mabanggaan sila. Uy. Ano kaya kalapit yun, no?
As the 4 Diamond pilots approach, you should notice the flight leader and slot pilot are both in the inverted position. The Blue Angel double marble.
Grabe, boy. Wow, 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 wow. Sino kaya yung sumusunod sa kanila, no? Really?
The 2022 team takes a great deal of pride in saluting Navy and Marine Corps aviators, maintenance crews, and support personnel everywhere. From the left, your Blue Angels.
Tapos na. Bitin.
It has been an honor and our pleasure to perform for you our first flight demonstration of the season.
Blue Angels aren't about just jet performance. Everybody can go out there and learn to do a lot of twirls and loops and rolls, but to do it together, to make 6 jets fly as one, that's the magic. That's the Blue Angel magic.
Oh, totoo naman. Coordination.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing your United States Navy and Marine Corps, the Blue Angels 2022.
It was a little bump. Road, but I made it. Once we finished crowd line, you know, Chomps came up and said, "Hey guys, congrats! You're demo pilots now." So it's pretty incredible.
You finish that show in El Centro, that drop of salute happens, you head back to your room and you start packing it up. You see Fat Albert getting loaded up with all of our gear, all of our personnel, and you realize that I've got an 8-month season staring me in the face right now. So it's daunting, to say the least. Not just that first week, but every week after that.
Ay, ganyan pala yun. 32
So
cities, no?
to a
61
town near
shows.
you.
Fat Albert is our C-130J Super Hercules asset, affectionately known as BERT. Those are our Marines, an all-Marine crew.
Fat
They
Bert ang
also
pangalan.
provide logistics support.
Fat Albert is key in essentially supporting the team to and from every single airshow site. It's about 30,000 pounds of cargo, 45 personnel.
Okay, you got all the newbies? Grabe.
Yeah. We have 6 pallets worth of gear. All of our friends are sitting on the red seats or blue seats, on the sides crammed in tight. Almost knee to pallet. And about this close to your buddy.
We've just done that first air.
Choppy internet. Palit nga ako server. Server. Palit tayong server. Server 1.
Fly as
We've just done that first air show. Now we're off to New Orleans.
New Orleans.
We're gonna roll into town like a,
Angeles.
like a circus, I guess.
Galing yung circus nila, parang circus.
The U.S. Navy Blue Angels returned to town this weekend.
Blue Angels came into
Bakit naglalag?
town, landing at the Naval Air Station in Belchase.
Server 3 tayo nga natin. Server 5.
Blue seats.
There with Fat Albert.
Town like a circus, I guess.
The U.S. Navy Blue Angels returned to town this weekend.
The Blue Angels came into town, landing at the Naval Air Station in Belchase.
Right when we get there.
Dami pala silang shows, no? Akala ko once a year lang yan.
When that crew entrance door opens, everything is set up perfectly, so we're able to put on a great show.
It's definitely similar to being on a sports team.
Oo naman.
The schedule is relentless. You are constantly on the road, you're constantly traveling. Exact mesh of a sports team with the schedule of a touring rock and roll band.
I always say it's like planning 30 weddings. 30 weddings in 30 places you've never been to with 30 families you just met.
Galing, no? Blue Angels.
Oh, yeah, good your team. Great job today. Pitch up right. Pete, look for kick. Try it down. Good. Boys.
Coming back home at the end of those 3 months and seeing our families on the flight line for the first time was incredible. It's so special to have this home base, this place that just loves us so much. Our families are here. Our families live here all the time. For me, when I found out I made the team, That was on July 11th. 1 month later, Joe was born, and a month after that, I left to go join the team. So the fact that they take care of our family so well, I think, is what really endears this place to us.
Galing, C-130.
Never had any thought that I would be on the team. You know, joining a team where I'm going to be gone for, nearly 300 days a year with a brand new little daughter and having some tough conversations with my wife about, do we want to do this? And for me, it was this is a way I can, in a sense, kind of give back. June 20th, 1986, I'm like this 9-year-old boy up in Fargo, North Dakota. My dream when I saw the Blue Angels was to go serve my country. I grew up playing sports, basketball, and finishing up college and, thinking like, boy, I'd love to fly for the Navy, but I'm just, I'm too big. I can't fit in the cockpit. And sure enough, it turns out I fit and they would have me. And kind of the rest is history as far as joining the Navy.
I'm currently a major in the Marine Corps, managing aircraft maintenance. Brian told me, one of the bucket things in my career is to maybe apply for the Blue Angels. He's like, it's 1 in a million. 1 in a million, though, we're never gonna get it. And we were both in quite a bit of shock when we found out that that was happening. We're just super fortunate to have been stationed together. For the next duty station, he's got his orders. I do not have my orders yet. So I'm still kind of knocking on wood, hoping everything kind of comes in alignment for it. But again, it's not, don't stress about something you don't have the control over. It's definitely a bit of a jigsaw as far as trying to, plan a family in the military. It's doable. I mean, we've got 2. It's definitely doable. So it'll be just one of those things that you work through.
Good deal. All right, Remy. There's not much flying tours left for a guy like me. The mission was really what I went back to.
People's dreams, dreams they never thought they could possibly achieve, can come true, and that's the mentality we want in the Blue Angels.
Well, I never realized, I've been on great teams before, what I didn't realize is how attached I'd be to this team.
How about Remy?
Clingy ka, clingy.
There isn't a family like
Bagal ng Facebook.
I'll miss that. I'll miss that. And all that goes along with it.
Everything here is about being a member of the team.
It takes all 141 personnel on a command doing their job, putting forth that maximum effort.
It's constant. It's 18 hours a day with the same people every day. So every single person in here, every pilot, every officer, every teammate, every enlisted maintainer, whatever position we have on this team is family.
What's up, night check?
Hey! Like I said, give it 100%. This is the time that I need y'all. I'm glad to be here.
Whoa! Oh.
I'm Chief Mass Communications Specialist Paul Archer.
My name is Oyindamala Michael. I am the number 6 crew chief.
Oyindamala.
My name is Lieutenant Griffin Stengel, call sign Push Pop.
Lieutenant Brian Abe. Go by Mo here.
Lieutenant Paul Kruger, call sign Suppo.
I'm Lieutenant Henry Cedeño from Juana Díaz, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Kapitan, Puerto Rico. Events ko.
So my role on the team as Blue Angel number 7 is I'm the narrator.
Narrator. Ano naman nangyari?
Jet went down in Smyrna, Tennessee.
Demonstration pilot on any particular.
Paul Kruger, call sign Suppo.
I'm Lieutenant Henry Cedeño from Juana Díaz, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
So my role on the team as Blue Angel number 7 is I'm the narrator.
Narrator daw siya.
My goal is to interact with a crowd of tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of people.
I'm a mass communication specialist. We're aerial photographers, right? We get to go up and fly in the jet and take all the pretty Blue Angel photos.
Ay talaga. Ang galing, ganyan pala ginagawa yun, boy.
I've got a female front ma'am right now.
Akala ko may GoPro lang sila sa nakakabit sa isang eroplano. Totoong camera pala talaga gamit nila.
Tomorrow is going to be 0800. I got a lot of information to put out, so pay attention. I need 2 volunteers.
From 99 to 2000. Karen Marini was the last female frontman. They called her front chick. Now I go by front ma'am. And then my Bravo is a
front mom.
Hot seat, front ma'am. Walk on fleet. We have any TAF.
Essentially, I'm walking every single jet on the line, along with our crew chiefs.
We have 12 crew chiefs, and it's 2 crew chiefs per pilot. I'm the #1 crew chief, boss gets the ring crew chief. We go in the cockpit, just check everything that the pilot would check before they take off. Flight controls, you know, the displays, everything.
And then I'm just double verifying, triple verifying, everything's good for that pilot to get in the cockpit and to go out and fly.
As a pilot, I never pre-flighted an airplane. I had so much trust in my crew chief.
All I do is get in my aircraft and strap in. You tell me it's good to go, it's good to go.
When the jet's good to go, we do a signature handshake. We do it and go, woo!
We're clear for takeoff.
When I was 4 years old, my dad took me to an air show in Fort Worth, Texas. And I got to watch the Blue Angels fly for the very first time. They were awesome. To the point where I ran away from my parents to go try to find the jets wherever they were parked. And they'd come up over the loudspeaker. If you've lost a little 4-year-old son, can you come to the announcer booth and we'll give your son back to you, type of thing. I found him. I fell in love with aviation at 4 years old. I wanted to do something like that.
Right when Cheese's jet kind of drifted deep, your jet looked like it just twitched and kind of almost did the same thing. That should work. So we can continue to focus on that step down line.
Trump's a big softy. He just understands the stakes at play. I mean, he's the guy that has the best vantage point of the entire formation every second, every day. That's a heavy weight, and boss kind of owns that as the commanding officer, but there are things I just can't see.
Like, no joke, we had some depth.
Chomps is our lone Marine Corps pilot. We make fun of him, call him General Zastable, because he kind of gives off that persona when he goes and talks to people.
All right, so big takeaways, that one's going to be reducing the overreaction for the flat there.
Yeah, I was trying not to hit him.
I know, that was a huge, huge dump on the nose.
That's
there.
correct. It's also the closest I've ever been to a jet.
So
I can freeze it and hold it, but
there's got to be some kind of compromise. Like, you have to keep driving more to just kind of get away, but not that huge
Galing, no?
dumping of the nose away from the formation. Looked pretty gross up there. Delta roll will be at focus into tomorrow as well. Bearing lines matching the rate.
There's one Marine option in the Blue Angels at any given time. So we can only have one jet demonstration pilot on any particular year. So this year is my final year. My job is to try to bring everyone together on the same page so there's never any like lingering questions between the elements. And so that's why it kind of rests on the number 4 spot. Always a second year guy to do the debrief.
Yeah, that's.
We're gonna be on the road quite a bit coming up, quite a bit. And it's a lot of time away from family. And that's something that we also don't get that much of, is time with our families. So when we come here, we try to spend as much time as we can. And I walked out of the house this morning, I had one daughter attached to my left leg saying, "Daddy, don't go, just stay here this weekend." And my little son is just literally like rock climbing up my right leg as I'm walking to the truck this morning.
It is so cool to see the reactions of the public. They think, you know, oh, you're a rock star with this high-paced lifestyle. And then in the evenings, we attend commits where we'll go to a local outreach event. The pilots will go to schools.
So our mission is to showcase the teamwork and professionalism of the United States Navy and Marine Corps.
I was with Boss at the Blue Angel Foundation.
Thanks so much for coming out today.
The Blue Angel Foundation is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization to help wounded veterans. And Freedom Station is part of that.
It was truly special to spend some time with those wounded warriors. We also get to go to the hospitals.
I'm Monica. I'm the doctor for the Blue Angels.
And get to interact with each child and just spend a little time with them.
Ay! Alam ko nung ba't siya naglalag ata. Dahil sa RAM. Ah, oo nga, no? Try ulit natin. Ah, hindi. Sa internet yun. Sabi, internet umuulan kasi. Ay, nako.
The first time you put this suit on, you feel kind of like an imposter. And I remember that every time I wear the uniform. I think a good feeling to have is you should never feel too comfortable in this suit. You're representing a whole bunch of folks. You're not just representing yourself. For me, that's looking at the 28 faces on the wall every day. The 28 men that we've lost in this job.
Breaking news tonight, a Blue Angels jet went down in Smyrna, Tennessee, which is just outside of Nashville.
We were right there when it happened.
Okay.
Several of the guys, saw it happening in real time.
Ano nangyari?
Captain Jeff Coos was killed when he went down in Smyrna practicing at the Great American Air Show.
He was just one of the most upbeat and professional guys you've ever met. I mean, you get into this mindset on this team that every day is going to be the exact same, right? We get into the routine, and the routine is kind of set. And then when a massive event like that happens, everybody was just like, what are we going to do right now? It's a different type of flying. Those maneuvers are low and fast to the ground, right? There's very little room for mistakes.
Ayun, bumangga siya sa lupa.
We owe it to them to think about their memory. And I ask myself every day, who am I?
Who am I?
Who am I, right? To sit here. Tough to have an ego when you look at those guys up there and go, okay, who am I?
It's a humbling experience. It's still humbling.
I'm in my last year. And I'm turning it over. It's a unique process, picking my replacement. There's only a handful of people who've ever experienced this. The boss application, there's no other times that you can apply for the Blue Angels, right? So it's a very final thing. They've flown down here from all corners of the world. And this is some life-changing news, maybe a lifelong dream.
No, my internet is not cooperating.
For me,
Talaga, 3,000 flight hours. Gano'ng katagal yan? Let's say 10 hours, 14 hours per day. No?
squadron commanding officer, you know, they would never pick me. Why even try?
Grabe, no? So, nasa mga ano siguro yan? Puro mga 4 years, no? Na piloto ka.
I was relaxed and honest. You know, I'm just going to be me. And I was...
Flight hours. Ang galing, no? Grabe.
shocked when they pulled me outside the room and said, "You're the guy." Oh, boy. That was a life changer. I was real surprised.
It's a tough decision. I mean, these folks are all Olympians. These folks work their entire life.
You've heard of the gold medalists, maybe the silver or even the bronze. But someone comes in fourth, and no one knows their name.
First off, thank you, everyone. Very, very well done. Please hold your head high. Very well done. Very well done. Thank you. Very well done.
Yeah. Okay, we'll come on out here. Awesome. Come on. All right.
You will start getting your PAO training right away, but you'll be expected to say a few things to the press.
Right, your most important thing to do right now is you're gonna call your wife. Give her a call, make her a quick call, and call your mom and dad. Let me know, just give them a couple minutes. We'll have
that was extremely emotional for sure. Surprising to start, and then just a flood of different emotions. My name's Commander Alex Armitage, call sign is Scribe. I grew up in central New York, and very young, I knew I wanted to fly.
Press conference one.
I've been in the Navy for quite a while now, a little over 20 years. I kind of prepared myself to not be the one, so now I'm very quickly having to come to terms with the fact that this will be my role next, and I need to get ready for that. So
what do you think? Shock and awe?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, me too. I think job's gonna be different than you think.
Yeah.
It's gonna be challenging in aspects you don't know. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Yeah. It's been fantastic.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Commander Alex Armitage. It is an absolute honor to be here. It's very humbling, very emotional, as Captain Kesselring mentioned. Admiral, thank you as well, sir. And just
Even though he's a very skilled leader and very skilled aviator, he's going to go through that same crucible, that same learning curve. As I look back, oh boy, he doesn't know what he doesn't know yet.
Does this get easier with time? Does it get easier? I hope so.
Outstanding job.
Thanks, Alan. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is, I hope it gets easier when you do it.
The Blue Angels were the brainchild of Admiral Chester Nimitz in 1946. Admiral Nimitz said, we've got to make sure the American public doesn't forget about Navy planes. He pulled a fellow that had 5 aerial victories during the war, a young 26-year-old lieutenant commander named Butch Boris. And so Butch grabbed about 4 of his best friends, created a team, created a few maneuvers,
Yun pala yun, no?
right to the American public.
Yun pala yung simula, no? Grabe. Mga rotary engine pa yung mga ano. Yung Griffin. Ano tawag dyan? Nakalimutan ko na. Nasa ano yan eh? Harrier, Red Alert.
Over the years, the team has gone through many different airplanes, propeller-driven airplanes, and then into the jet era. We didn't see it as a risk. We saw taking this job as a Blue Angel as a privilege.
Galing, oh. Ang loads, oh. Ilalabanan niya. Wala pa silang mga oxygen mask na, no? Hindi tulad ngayon. So, mas mahirap siguro dati. Ay, hindi naman siguro kasi hindi pa ganun katindi yung engineering ng mga aeroplano dati. Uy, grabe. Ang ganda ng mga shots, oh.
It's so highly sought after to be part of the Blue Angels. And it's a very distinct privilege to be selected to the Blues. And we got to pick our own. How about that? Nobody from above was saying, you're going to take this person, teach them how to fly, teach them how to be a Blue Angel, which was really unusual in the military.
All right. This day is going to be very busy, very tight on timelines. If you're next, be on deck, outside the room. Everybody else can relax in here. Do your thing.
Galing, no?
There's the robust interview process. We get medical, we take a look at the backgrounds and all that. But really what it comes down to is 3 things: talent, passion, and personality.
Talent, passion, personality.
Right here.
Check
My
natin.
first introduction to aviation was when my dad took my family to Tuskegee, where we got a ride in a small single-engine aircraft. Up until that point, I wanted to be a train conductor and a police officer, but after that flight, I wanted to be a pilot. The interview matters. We are picking the best fit person for this job, and by best fit, I mean, that's hugely important. We're spending a lot of time with each other. We know each other so well.
I doubt that.
They're certainly a bit on the nervous side, got the nerves going. You see their excitement, you see their desire. They're so close, they can darn near taste it.
We try to learn everything about that individual before they get here, so that when they do get here, we know exactly what their personality is going to be and where they're going to fit in their part of this team.
We'll start during the interview process, dig a little deeper, but it literally is a unanimous decision amongst 17 people in the room that requires hours of deliberation and discussion to reach that consensus.
Obviously, you're going to pick the people you think will be the absolute best. And sometimes that takes 5 minutes, sometimes that takes
4 hours. You never know.
Those are all very personal conversations, personal details about this individual's life that the general public doesn't need to ever know. And it's certain things that we'll talk about in there, and at the end of the night, we all slap the table and say, what happened here stays here. And then it's never to be talked about again. Because at the end of the day, guess what? Those are your new people. There has to be a unanimous decision. But if we don't pick the right people to carry on that legacy, then what we've done is just a failure.
Oo nga, no? Parang chain of succession.
If you're a finalist, you're kind of waiting on pins and needles. Saturday after the Pensacola Beach Air Show, you call in, they tell you whether or not, either welcome to the team or, hey, sorry, try again next. And for me, it took me 3 tries. I got lucky along the way. Did a couple deployments, and then I ended up here on the team. That was a huge success in my book.
Let's go.
We owe it to all those folks, the majority of folks who have rushed the team that didn't make it.
Some miss out by just 1 vote.
We are 4 months, 16 shows away from the end of the season. So make sure you appreciate it while you're here.
Blue Angels, boy.
The city definitely has a special place for us. These people who have been coming to these shows, since the 60s, they still welcome us as if we're family. We're moments in time on this team.
I've been watching the Blue Angels since 1982. It's my 40th summer.
I've been around them my entire life.
20
Gan-
plus.
Di ka ba nauumay dyan, boy?
Rush. And honestly, seeing it in person just makes it that much more real.
Isipin yung 40 times na niyang pinanood yan.
We on the airspace. Have a good one.
Uy, tabing niya yung isa.
In relatively slow speed flight, they will give you an opportunity to get a close look at the precision flying that produces the 18-inch wingtip to canopy separation between these 4 aircraft. From the right, the Blue Angel Diamond.
Looking at it at the start of the season, I'd think, man, there's no way I'm going to get this close to a jet. Especially for the Diamond 360, which is what we consider one of our hardest maneuvers.
Air 360.
Ang galing, boy, oh.
We just bumped it into Blue Gold set. Scott Jamami, he's currently up under, boss's wing. Now me, on the other side, because of parallax, I'm not actually sliding myself up underneath. What I'm actually doing is I'm sliding outboard and forward.
Grabe, boy.
Frank underneath my wing doing almost the exact same thing that Scott is doing, just a little bit more aft.
Rear view mirrors pala sila dyan.
Kind of getting Not so much comfortable, but it's getting familiar to the point where it's like, man, we're actually really doing this. You know, this is the aspect of the Blue Angels that no other demonstration team really reaches. But with the Yankee set at the start of the season is something you really want to get, and you don't completely know if maybe you'll actually get there, but there's teams that have done this in the past, and then there's teams that haven't. Now that we're starting to get in that regime of flight, will we get there? Hopefully, yes.
Galing, boy. Grabe, boy.
Of course, the crowd favorite is the Sneak.
Sneak? Ano yan? Yung ano, flying low, ta sonic boom.
The Diamond will execute their maneuver, showcasing the precision flying that is required of all Navy and Marine Corps pilots. And then as we're setting up for our next maneuver, we get the solos in there who just pull on the stick a lot and provide the filler.
Sonic boom. Woo!
Diamond's favorite maneuvers are when they get to break apart from boss, act like a solo, and then once that's over, they're back to being the Diamond.
I mean, the Diamond, everybody knows they're the better pilots here. I mean, literally everybody knows. You know that you actually have to think about those around you, like be a team player. They just don't get that yet. So maybe one day they'll understand that. But
Fun and excitement, definitely the solos use it a lot more. The Diamond, they're all flying off of boss, so.
Healthy competition, that's exactly what it is.
Galing no, grabe.
After I left Pensacola for finalist week, it was just me and my husband at the house. We were kind of waiting and anticipating this phone call. I was the very first person to call in. So I called in and they kind of joked around with me and they said, hey, you have the wrong number, try calling this number back. So I am in panic mode immediately.
We tend to mess with them a little bit when they call in for the selectees. So
We have a 5-minute window to call in. So I'm going through my messages, making sure I have the right number. I call back, they're like, still the wrong number.
we're listening in as Cody has got some rock music
Ang
playing.
galing ng tutorial pala sila, no?
I get a call from boss. He's like,
Man, weren't you supposed to call in a couple minutes ago?
I was like, I have done something terribly wrong. I'm in trouble. It's okay, next year when you're on the team, we will get your timeline a little bit better. And then everybody said, welcome to the team. So they are super frazzled.
A history-making day for the legendary Blue Angels. The Navy's elite flight squadron has selected its first female fighter jet demonstration pilot.
Talaga?
Lieutenant Amanda Lee from Minnesota. She is soon going to be flying high with the Blue Angels.
Paling first na babae.
Intensive 5-month training program with other new members of the team beginning in September.
I enlisted in the Navy in 2007. I ended up enlisting as an aviation electronics technician, and I started working on the F-18. I get to my first squadron, and my division chief said, you don't belong here. I don't feel like you're challenged enough. And the only thing I knew in the Navy was aviation, so I was like, let's try to fly.
Once you wear this crest, it's a life-changing journey. And you have an opportunity to represent those over 800,000 active duty, reserve, and civilian support personnel by wearing it.
Having the whole team there greeting you, really excited for you. It was absolutely an unforgettable day.
So remember today is the day that you became a Blue Angel. Look around at your teammates. Commit this special bond of memory. Once a Blue Angel, always a Blue Angel. welcome to the team.
I think the media likes to make a big deal out of firsts, but, you know, I always feel we give short shrift to why they actually made it, right? We have a fantastic officer and a fantastic pilot. At the end of the day, when you're flying 12 inches apart, what really matters is that you can trust them.
Grabe, ang steep naman ng angle, boy. Bale, sanay naman sila dyan. Show 37, August 11.
I think the progression with the team is going really well, and I'm really, really excited to see when we can bring this in and how tight we can actually get that formation.
In terms of being a newbie on the Blue Angels, it feels like an eternity.
We are entering a phase of the season where the new team is selected and it's the official, you are no longer a newbie on the team. You finally kind of know what you're doing.
Wow. Show 43. Galing, no? Really?
It's kind of fun watching the folks who just learned. It's cool seeing Cheese go from not knowing anything but fleet flying to feeling 110% confident. But he has another enormous role that he's got to learn.
Cheese next year in the 2-jet is going to have the incredible responsibility of training a new boss.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Nice, good. And yourself? Doc,
Hi.
nice to see you again.
Good to be back.
Hi, Mike.
We are in San Antonio, Texas at the Weil KBR Centrifuge Center.
You guys ready for this?
This is the first day for the incoming pilots to be on the job as Blue Angels.
Anong nangyari
This
dito?
is a G tolerance improvement training program, and it is a very demanding and rigorous program.
People who've been flying F-18s for 20 years go to the centrifuge, they get selected, and it can be challenging at times, and sometimes have to learn new techniques to make sure they can perform at the highest levels before they can be on the team.
When you increase G forces, gravity is going to pull the blood in your head down to your feet. So you're going to pass out.
Go ahead and put your G suits on. I want to check them just to make sure.
The first day, incoming aviators wear their G suits, which they're used to wearing out in the fleet.
Go ahead and climb on in, sit down as best or as easy as possible.
A G suit is something that we strap on, and they will inflate and deflate depending on the amount of G's you're pulling to help you sustain G so you don't have to strain as hard.
Harness.
Harness, slocks, zippers are up.
G-suit pressure 1 at a time.
There it is.
Yeah, we're just going to get you up to idle speed.
In 3, 2, 1, engage.
All right. Should feel like you're going straight up in a rocket right now.
Yeah.
Pull back. Up top, breathe. Now bring those knees in, dig with those heels, breathe. Drop the shoulders, plank the abs, down to 5.5, but keep it going.
Squeeze that butt. Get those abs tight. Keep them tight. And let these G's control you. Come on, I want you to control them.
Grabe, boy, no?
You're on top, breathe. Squeeze the knees, squeeze that butt. Breathe. Get those abs tight, keep them tight.
Bring those knees in, squeeze that butt. Come on, breathe.
Come on, dig the heels. You got this.
Ano mga klase ng tapat?
1, 2, squeeze the knees. Nicely done.
Done.
I tell you, Alex, that may be the best I've ever seen anybody do on their first ride. I'm serious. I'm not just blowing smoke, man. I don't say that to people. That was awesome.
Today, there are no G suits. And the reason we require that is because we do not fly with G suits in the Blue Angels.
Ay talaga?
Welcome back.
Galing naman.
The G suit fills up with air. So the way we fulcrum with our arm on our leg, if that were to inflate, it would move our arm and inherently just moving the aircraft. So we don't do that.
Okay, we're gonna start the profile now.
We have 5 profiles that every Blue Angel aviator will go through in the centrifuge, which represent what they experience when flying in the jet.
Galing, no?
And those are the high G profiles, and one of which is the pub, the pitch-up brake, which is our very last maneuver, where the pilots will pull 7.5 Gs to brake around the airfield before landing. But it's critical that they stay awake during that maneuver. So we've taken that demonstration profile and simulated it in the centrifuge so that we can train to it before getting into the jet.
All right, I got controls. So it's gonna be 7 Gs, 5 seconds.
Okay, legs tight, breath. On top, breathe. Dig with the heels, plank the abs, breathe. We're down to 5.5, keep it going. Stay with the strain, stay with the strain. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it.
He's going down.
Oh! Grabe.
It gets people when it drops off like that.
It's the weirdest thing to have a G-induced loss of conscience. You don't even know where you are or what you are. I mean, it's just like your whole conscious self is gone.
Alex, you okay?
Yeah.
All right.
I called boss about this and said, "Hey boss, the new boss just passed out." And he said, "Good.
Good.
Good, because that's a wake-up call.
Wake up call na.
You know, let's get to work. This is not going to be easy."
Okay, second trial.
You're on top. Breathe. Come on, dig the heels. You got this. Keep squeezing. Breathe. Squeeze those knees. Get that butt tight. Yep. Abs tight. Hold them tight. Come on, legs. 1, 2, breathe. You got this, and you're coming down. You're coming all the way home.
Galing, no?
Keep the strain. Legs, butt, heels. You're coming down.
Nawala pa siya.
Okay. Damn it.
Grabe,
Yep,
no?
there we go. I got you, Amanda. Go ahead and put your head back. Amanda.
I had never G-locked before. And whatever your mind goes through at that point, you know, who knows? But I was in outer space.
Take a breath.
It's like an eye-opener for how inherently dangerous this job is.
We're just getting everything back to normal.
Okay.
Head back in the headrest. There you go.
There was certainly a point today where I was frustrated, and it was a difficult profile, and I just kind of sat down and just wanted to relax and do nothing for a few minutes. But like most things in this business, you get over it and you move on.
Breath, going up.
Grabe boy, ang galing.
Top, breathe. Drop those shoulders, bring the knees in, squeeze the butt.
A lot of today is building confidence, knowing that you can physically do this.
Grabe boy, 7 Gs. Walang laban ng F1 dito.
Body right. But without that mind being 100% invested that you can do this, you're
Well, actually, parang mas matindi pa rin palang F1 kasi consistent yan for 2 hours. No?
Keep it tight. Breathe. Good. Breathe. Squeeze those knees. Get that butt tight. Breathe. Good. Come on out. There you go. Looking good.
Grabe, ang galing.
2, and you're coming down all the way home.
Oh. Ah. Pucha, pinapanood ko palang napapagod na ako. Oh my goodness.
Hey.
Okay.
That That's what this whole training is about, to let them know we are in the big leagues now, and it's time to step it up.
Nice job.
We've got a lot to learn. Starting next month, we'll start traveling with the team, and pretty much from the moment we start traveling until the change of command in November, we are joined at the hip with whoever we're replacing. We'll all be doing that all the way through the fall.
Ang galing, no?
Right now, it's the khaki newbie phase, as we refer to it. It's a good chance for all of us to kind of feel what it's like to be on the road.
The best way to describe it is surreal.
Oh!
Not until you live it, boy, do you understand what it's like to be a Blue Angel.
It's actually a bit comical at start because you have a bunch of highly trained, skilled folks who don't really know what to do anymore.
You can stand just, yeah, either way. You can dance around. Thanks.
Being a newbie, there's a very delicate balance. You're basically there to be a sponge.
That's crowd right in front of the crowd.
We account for every single minute of the day. By the time you get back to the hotel, boy, you can't even remember what you ate for lunch, or if you even ate lunch.
I wanted to start off with the narrator spot, and then when I found out that I was going to be in the Diamond, it was just one of those things where you're like, I'm just happy to be here. As we say, I'm glad to be here.
Glad to be here. There's perfect expression of the gratitude we have from the top down, the bottom up. Whoever is around you and you say, I'm just glad to be here. It's a reset. It lets people know that no matter what kind of day you had, you're glad you are with the people you're with, because they'll understand and they'll trust you because you won't hold anything back. And when you have that kind of effort, it raises the outcomes for each and every person. Glad to be here. That was foundational.
All right.
There's a kind of a saying from deploying sailors, where the days are long, but the weeks are short.
Oh, ano, the days are long,
Kind of living in the
but
moment,
the weeks
tired
are
a
short.
lot of times. All of a
Galing.
sudden you wake up and it's, you know, September, and then it's end of season week.
A little bit. A little bit.
You spend the entire 365 previous days with your team, getting better and better and better, and then, what's up, here it is. I'll never do this again. My replacement has been picked, and this is our last ride. It's definitely an emotional moment.
Ride or die. Ride or die.
Yeah.
For the Diamond 360, we've talked at length over the last, I would say each one of us has had hours of conversations with each other about the Diamond 360, kind of preparing our fulcrum. And that's
Our goal at the beginning of the season is the tireless pursuit of perfection. And I think a lot of it comes down to just not being satisfied, knowing that there's a next level. There's tension in it. There's one, you gotta be safe, you gotta be professional. But there's the other side that gosh, man, I wanna make sure that we get to the tightest sets. The Blue Angel hallmark of precision. That tension, it's good, but you gotta keep it in check.
All right, for the Diamond roll, hold the D-bill. Hold to D-bill.
The way I chose to lead was I wanted Chomps to be empowered because I have that much trust in Frank. During that final week, Frank came in my office and said, we can do it. With Diamond 360, and Yankee said,
From the right, the Blue Angel Diamond.
Blue Angel Diamond. Galing, no?
to be able to do that safely. Flying just inches apart. That's a grand slam. It's the Blue Angel magic.
Departing team members, last 3 ranks. Don't want to talk. Destiny, you crying yet? I'm not. You good?
I'm okay. This is it.
Come on, Kev!
Double dragon if you're there. Put your hands in the air if you're there. Wash your hands. Wash your feet. Wash your feet. Double dragon of my mercy. You will catch the double dragon if you're there. Put your hands in the air if you're there. Wash your feet. Wash your back. Wash your back.
Okay.
Double dragon of my mercy. I've never been in a command like this before, and you guys treat me like family, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I will miss it 100%.
No, to everyone leaving, you'll be missed. We'll talk about it more tonight. For the newbies in the back, soak it in. Talk to these people before they leave today.
Hoorah. Final show na nila.
Expo, clear to taxi. Line up on rate 1.25 right. Now. Power set.
Oh, grabe.
I don't think you remember shows or weekends. The level of perfection that we seek, I see it in moments. Every once in a while, you're in a roll or a rollout. The jets just kind of freeze, and the world around you seems to kind of spin. So, and those are kind of the moments that I'll remember that kind of stick with me.
The 4 Diamond pilots are rolling out in trail formation for a dynamic separation maneuver. The Blue Angel vertical brake.
I walked away thinking this is exactly what we worked for all year, and it was incredible to see.
No doubt, mini team. Great job. Great news. Awesome there, boss. Welcome back. Great news.
No kidding, during the show, the parking spots are all changed over, and that is how the Blue Angels do it. All the old guys leaving has been scraped off. You know, when you walk out of this hangar that final time, that's it.
Crew for hunt in.
There's no coming back.
Ay, buhay.
To start prepping my cadence for that final walk back. When it's that final drop of salute.
That's right.
How long I might wait for that final drop of salute.
Left, right,
We drop salute and we know that the next day, personnel are going to go all across the world to the next tour of duty. And that's the last moment that our family is going to be together. You know? Yeah.
And salute. Ready, 2.
Grabe naman. Blue Angels.
The flying is cool, but it's not the same as being around Jamami or Cheese or Chewy or Whiskers or Boss or any of the supply officers to maintainers downstairs. Is that one-on-one connection you have with your crew chiefs, Joe and Alan, for me. So that's going to truly, truly be the thing that I'm going to miss the most.
It's all the parts. It's not just 5 people. It's 141 personnel that put this thing together.
Ready, 1, 2, and 3. All right.
The people change, the suits stay the same. What this team means stays the same, and what this team means to the country has stayed the same and has lasted the test of time.
And then,
poof, you know, it's gone. I pinch myself. I get a chance to be part of it.
It's over.
Blue Angel Creed! As a Blue Angel, I will dedicate
Ay, once a binibini, always a binibini. Galing, no? Part-time konti. The Blue Angels. Laser lang yan, boy, oh. Galing, oh. Extractor. Tapos na.
Where you were in.
Tapos na.